Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I just wanted to ask, what are the top 3 tips to how you can remember the Qur'an for the rest of your life?
MashaAllah. So what are the top 3 tips for remembering the Qur'an for the rest of your life? Okay. It's the top 3, right? So I would say, first and foremost, learn the Qur'an with tajweed and recite it with tajweed. Why? Because what that will do is that every time you recite the Qur'an, you will be reciting it the way it was recited by the Prophet ﷺ, the way it was recited by the Sahaba. So the full beauty and light and spiritual benefit of that will be carried in your recitation, and you will enjoy that recitation. The angels will be present in that recitation, and that will help you remember it, because you'll recite more, because you enjoy reciting more. Like if you recite with tajweed, you recite nicely. Even if you don't have a great voice, you'll recite nicely, you'll enjoy your recitation. Chances are you'll be humming the Qur'an. You'll be doing something, but you'll be humming the Qur'an. Do you understand? So enjoying Qur'an through because your recitation is good, because you've learnt it with tajweed, is the first step in memorizing the Qur'an. Because sometimes you have to enjoy things, number one, and number two, the spiritual benefit of it has to be full, and for that we need to be reciting it correctly. Okay, so that's number one. Number two is, when you memorize it well. Right? When you memorize it well. Take the time to memorize correctly, again with tajweed, right? And then whatever you've memorized, make sure that you take care of what you have already memorized, i.e. you take care of your revision. It's revision first, new material after. So priority number one is always revision. So a lot of people, what they do is they move fast ahead and they memorize lots and lots of new material, and then they realize they've forgotten the stuff that they'd memorized in the first day. Revision first, new material after. It's like, I'm happy with everything that I've memorized so far, let me now memorize some new material, right? Add that to your revision. I'm happy with this, now add new material. That's how you memorize. So you have to have a good method of memorization. And then number three, you have to recite what you memorize, right? You have to recite, meaning you have to practice it. So practicing it means the Qur'an is recited, the Qur'an is memorized for recitation and for practice. Those are the two things, right? So once you memorize the Qur'an, if you recite it and you practice it, you'll remain connected to it forever, right? Right until your dying day. You understand? Those three things, if anybody does, they won't forget what they've memorized. And by the way, there's no magic involved. That means there's no such thing as I've memorized something once and I'm going to remember it for the rest of my life. No. It always takes effort, right? So I memorize the Qur'an. I have to revise it regularly, and every single year I have to go through several revisions in order to retain it, right? That's natural, that's effort. If you become a martial arts expert and you stop training, what's going to happen?
Nothing.
You're no martial arts expert, basically. You lose it all, right? Basically, your brain is going to be like, oh yeah, I know what to do, I know what I'm doing, I know how to do that. But then when you try to do it, you're going to dislocate your shoulder. Do you understand? Everything takes practice, everything takes effort. Okay? Good question. Jazakallah khair.